I do not believe that using an IQ test as the one assessment measure is a good idea. As we read in Center for Parents Information and Resources, Evaluating School-Age Children for Disabilities, the evaluation must use a variety of assessment tools and strategies. This practice has been seen as inappropriate since the beginning of IDEA. The current psychologist's use of observations, interviews, and assessments is much more appropriate than their proposed way to save time on assessment. Additionally, the school psychologist should prioritize the individual student and do their job correctly rather than looking for shortcuts that can cause children to be over and under identified to receive special education services. When looking at case studies in this course, one example of a student that would not receive special education services under the IQ testing alone would be Jacob Walters. Although Jacob received services for autism spectrum disorder under the multiple assessments he has, he would not have been found eligible under this district's proposed IQ testing model as he scored a WISC-4 IQ score of 115 within the upper average range of intelligence. Opposite of Jacob, students with lower IQ scores could be incorrectly placed in special education based solely on a lower IQ score, not receiving their free and appropriate public education. An additional concern I have with the psychologist's proposal was outlined in the case of Larry P. versus Riles. Using an IQ test alone raises significant concern for the misidentification of students with different linguistic and cultural diversities. This was once the case in San Francisco, when there was a disproportionate amount of students of color receiving special education services. The school psychologist should continue to use a variety within their assessment methodology to ensure that students of diverse cultural and linguistic backgrounds are being correctly assessed and identified.